15 minutes in the making, 15 minutes of the fame, 15 minutes of the fast cars and icy chains. I'm addicted to the fast life, it's so insane. 15 minutes in the making, 15 minutes of the fame. 15 minutes in the making, 15 minutes of the fame, 15 minutes of the fast cars and icy chains. I'm addicted to the fast life, it's so insane. 15 minutes in the making, 15 minutes of the fame.
Go.
Welcome to 15 Minutes of Fame. This is your handsome host, Khalil Murray, a.k.a. Kaiser. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to the Muslims, to everybody else, salute. So we here with another episode of 15 Minutes of Fame. And still trying to keep the bar raised high. I don't want to dumb it down just of yet to start talking about some topics that really ain't as important as the ones I think are. So a lot of the content that I've been giving to y'all lately has been based and surrounding, the atmospheres of what be going on in the prison system, and particularly the one that I'm at. And I've been doing that because a lot of times people don't be knowing, for those who have never been locked up, they ought to be knowing what's going on this side of the wall or this side of the fence. And there's be a lot of different things that be going on that I think y'all would find alarming, interesting, confusing. And even though y'all got them shows out there now that they're giving y'all 60 days in from, what's the newest one? From inmate to roommate. They got all kind of stuff that I see. And just let's look at it through the lens of why these shows are coming about, right? Because they're making money off of prisons. People interested. All right, one thing is that people are interested in it, but the other thing is that, this is another way for people to make money off of prisons. Corporations. And that's what's going on inside these joints. Think of how many prisons it is all across the world. Then think of how many of them in the United States. We the nation and the country that has the most prisons. And it ain't just because other countries, forgive me, is that other countries don't have issues and there's not, crimes going on in those other countries. It's just the way that they're dealing with their crimes, how they sentencing the people that commit crimes. And our country, what's different is that they're over-sentencing people or they're overcharging people. And so this is causing people to be in these joints and filling these spots and these places up to the extent that then it leaves certain kind of situations, to be kind of questionable. So you'll find a person, and I ain't talking about a lot of these violent crimes and things like that, because of course, some of these things have to, I ain't gonna say some of them, but you do wrong, I feel personally and honestly that if you get in some kind of trouble, it should be some kind of consequences and punishment for it. But in our criminal justice system, again, still, we see some of the sentences not fitting the crimes. And it's gotten past that when it comes to how the court systems are dealing with people that have been charged for crimes. And now, with the way that they're doing it, it's like it's a way of security. So think about this for me. As a country, we want everything to be right. And most of the time, people say that they want everything to be okay and straight. There shouldn't be no negativity. But we know that's not going to be the case in our world. Things are going to happen.
Phoenix State Correctional
Right?
Institution. This call is subject to recording.
There's going to be issues where people are going to get into trouble. There's going to be people that need to be arrested, and there's going to be issues where people that need to do time. All right? And now we know this is supposed to be the rehabilitative stage, where people come to prison, they get rehabilitated, and, try to change their mindset, try to deter them from the pathways and the path that they were on that led them to committing certain crimes in the first place. But then now what we see is happening in these prisons is that, for example, where I'm at, a lot of the programs don't even fit. Like a lot of the young boys who coming in here, who they talking about getting in trouble out there, some of them who they might say, well, he shouldn't have been home. How was he home? He was on parole for this and he was on parole for that. When they come through these spots here, a lot of these programs and stuff don't even fit for these young boys. And then they don't have the right people talking to them to try to change their mindset. So they're coming in doing 1.5 years, 2 years, 3 years, and coming right back out the same person they was before they came in. And then how they do us in here. And this always gets me because they be like, well, you should be back. But think about it. If you come to jail, and just think about it if you got a dog in your backyard. And not that I'm trying to compare humans to dogs. But think about it, something that you have captive, in a cage, locked in a room, whatever the case may be, right? And you're treating it bad. You're treating it bad, hostile towards it, feeding it whatever you want to feed it, treating it any kind of way. What do you think is going to happen to the mindset of that person or people? Like they just listen. They just raised the commissary prices on us. And I did an episode a while back on the price gouging, how they charge us for this and they overcharge us for that, right? But do you have any idea what we get paid the hour? And I can giggle and laugh about it, but it's not funny, right? But listen, the highest amount that prisoners get paid an hour in PA is 19 cents. 19 cents an hour. This is
SCI, Phoenix State Correctional
Becky with the nappy hair.
This call is subject to recording.
And most of y'all already know who Becky with the nappy hair is. It's my co-host. Yeah, 19 cents an hour, people. 19 cents an hour. Do the math on that. 19 cents an hour. Listen, and it's been this way for decades. It's been that way for decades. That's the highest amount you can get. Some of the joint, you start off 7 cents, 11 cents. This is what you start off with. What kind of wages are that? What kind of wages are that? I mean, come on, let's be honest. And listen, the job that we have in here, you basically run a jail. The kitchen workers that go off of most of these blocks, they go down there and they do most of the cooking. We got blue shirts and people coming in from Aramark and all of that kind of stuff. But the inmates do most of the stuff. The people that come in here from the street, they just like the supervisor and the overseers. The same way with maintenance. When there's leaks in the jail, when there's a crack in this place, or the floor needs to get fixed, when there's light bulbs that need to get changed, all around the prison with maintenance and stuff like that. They got inmate crews that's with these supervisors. But it's the inmates doing most of the stuff. And still, 19 cents an hour. But then they'll go ahead and raise the prices on us. Coffee just went up to $5 a bag. You might be like, well, yeah, so what? But think about this. 19 cents an hour. What can that do for you? While they're still paying the price, listen, while they're raising the prices, right? And then we don't have an option to go ahead and buy something else because it's like either you buy it or you don't. So we don't have no choice. Now, here's something else that I want to give you that's remarkable. When it comes to the Department of Corrections, for every inmate, right, they get stipends or they get a certain amount of money for the medical department, for us, for our health care. And most of y'all, I'm sure, are familiar with health care from y'all jobs and for y'all children and y'all spouses. Y'all have health care when it comes to dental, you know what I'm saying, and things like that. But for us, a few $1,000s is allotted to each inmate. A few years ago, it was $2,300. $2,300 per inmate. So, let me give you an idea of how this works. If you have a certain kind of incident or a severe medical issue or whatever may be the case with your situation, teeth fall out. You get sick. A lot of these guys in here, older guys, getting cancer, getting diagnosed with cancer, all kind of issues, right? Now, that money that's allotted to you is what you got. So then now the medical department decides whether or not, if it's something serious, are they going to sit there and say, do we really want to send him out to an outside hospital where that's going to cut to that $2,300 and it might be a little bit more that we have to spend on this guy? This is what they're doing to us. Now, I'm going to take it another step further and enlighten you a little bit more. Outside of that, right, the DOC gets to keep whatever they don't spend on the inmates with this money that's supposed to go to the health care. So if they can limit the amount of money that's spent on you when it comes to your health, that helps them because they get to pocket the remainder. They get to pocket the remainder. And so this is why my old head point who I talked about a while ago when he died from cancer. And they waited all the way to the end. And let me say this. Most of the guys dying from cancer is at the last stage. This is when they find it out. This is when they find it out, at the last stage. And so when I talk about this kind of stuff, I bring it because, not just because it's like it's not fair, or not just because, you know, I feel like we're the victims in these situations. It's because some of us are here for things, and some of us are here for other people's things. Overall, still, when people want to know what's going on in these prisons or why it's the way that it is, or because you may be a certain kind of way with your family members that call you, or how it is when we got Zoom visits, and you might be the person who can set up a Zoom visit to talk to your nephew, to your cousin, to your son, to your brother-in-law, or whoever it might be. So for the women, too, that's over at Muncie, at these different prisons, and you neglect them. You don't have no concern for them. You don't think about them. You don't find out what's going on with them. Shame on you. Shame on you. Because if it was the other way around, and you was in this position, in my opinion, or the human part about me says that you would want the same to be done for you. Be fair. Look at yourself in the mirror and say that you would want to be ignored. Would you want to be neglected? When you're at your most vulnerable, we don't like that even when we're on the streets and we free. We want help. We want people to care about us. We want somebody to check on us. We want somebody to hug us sometimes. We want a shoulder to lean our head on. This is how we are. Not that everybody wants compassion at every minute of the day or every second of the day, but we want to be cared for and cared about. And so I bring this stuff forward sometimes and not so much of the lighter stuff. And I'm going to get to the sports, and I'm going to get to some other topics and all of that kind of stuff coming up in 2023. But some of the more important stuff, I feel like I would be doing a disservice with this platform that I have and doing this here because it's necessary. And I ain't chasing fame to be nobody's hero or any of that kind of stuff. But if I don't talk about this kind of stuff, it's not that like who else will. But I just feel like I can articulate myself. I have a different way of viewing things. And I can say certain things that I feel like I can incite or at least inspire a person to maybe look into whatever it is that I'm talking about. So that's the case with this discussion right here. You know, I have a couple of books coming out this winter. I'm going to be releasing a book that's a little bit more not just controversial, but enlightening called If I Was White. I have another book that's on the side that's going to be in the sci-fi genre called Earth vs. Galaxy 2078. And this is going to be a good book, and it's something that I'm excited about. Then I have my 5th book from my 10-book series, City of Secrets, and it's called Gossip Alley. This will put me at 10 books. I'm a little, happy and proud of myself about that. Then I'm going into 2023, of course, we're dropping, releasing some more books and going into the film market. Being in here, I could probably appeal to a lot of different people and saying that I deserve to be home, but I can say this. I've been making the most of my time in here and trying to do everything that I can to change the fate that has been kind of gloomy. But even with coming up in a few, like this is the time that my dad passed away a couple of years ago, and just being in the mindset of considering him and thinking about him.
1 minute left.
And my purpose, I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Not that I shouldn't be doing more, because I feel like I got to do more, and I'm going to do more. But I ain't in this joint sitting down, and I want y'all to know that. And I hope that you're, wherever you at, not sitting down. And you taking, your life seriously, and you going after the things that you should be going after. Y'all heard Becky with the nappy hair. She said my 15 minutes of fame is up. We're about to be finding a platform for 15 minutes of fame, hopefully on Spotify and iHeartRadio. So y'all can tune in there if y'all haven't already jumped on my YouTube channel, Khalil Murray Media. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to the Muslims. To everybody else, salute.